All right, everybody. We are now streaming live on YouTube. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Y'all give me just a second. Let me get set up. I'm here in my man cave today, so let's gotta get set up here. Okay, there we go. And so let me share this out to some places on Facebook. Put this out on Facebook. Share this on some places real quick. Groups. Dispatching guide. Broker's hour. And we also share it on trainers. Trainers and instructors. And I'm going to share it on the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. Share it out. Learning Centers, get it shared out there. And we're going to share it on Twitter and LinkedIn, and we'll be good to go. Tweet this on Twitter. Let's let it roll on LinkedIn. All right, well, I'll share it out. All right, cool. Cool. See who joined me on YouTube so far. We got 2 watching. No one's checked in yet, but let's go ahead and get started on my let's call it here. All right, got my recording. All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Saturday, and the day's Saturday, and this is the 29th of January, and it is approximately 10:25, and it's time for it's time for the Broker's Hour. I got so much stuff going on. I don't know what I'm doing right now. We got the load board report, we got regular dispatch training, we got franchise training. Hey, I'm all over the place, and we have the Broker's Hour. So, pretty much if you turn on YouTube, you're gonna see me doing something with this industry, because I'm always doing something with this industry. Now today is gonna be kind of quick, fast, and a hurry. We're not gonna be here very long today. Okay, we're gonna be discussing some things kind of all over the board concerning brokers today, because last week we went over the importance of building a book of business. And we all kind of got a gist of how important that is to build that book of business and that type of stuff. So, and before that, we went over contract negotiations with shippers, okay, and your contracts and negotiations with shippers. Before that, we went over how you should be negotiating your margin, or how you should be operating as a broker, because you operate differently. As a broker than you do as a dispatcher, and you should be getting your money from the shipper. And we showed you all how to negotiate your margins so you can get your profits and how you should get paid as a broker. Before that, we went over all your credentials, the things that you're supposed to have to be legal as a broker. Before that, we went over how your firm should be set up to where you can actually take the most advantages of the tax structures and how you can scale your brokerage firm and pay your people less percentages, but they make more money because we showed you how to set yourself up to be able to pay the residuals. Okay, so we did that. And before that, we went over the truth about freight brokering. Now, because there's a lot of misinformation out there that people think that they can just come into this industry and make $1 million your first year brokering freight. As a freight broker, when just the opposite is the case. Chances are, and I've said this 1,000 times, I say it all the time, and no other broker, trainer, or instructor, or whatever the gurus out there, they're not going to tell you this. There's a higher likelihood that you are not going to make any money your first year as a broker. I know that's not what y'all want to hear. Okay? I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. Okay? That's just the truth of the matter. I mean, you can look up the statistics. 90.2% of all first-year brokers go out of business their first year. It's very high turnover because people, and the reason why that is because people have been misled to think that it's just an easy thing to do. When you jump right into it, you're gonna make a whole bunch of money, you're gonna be successful, you're gonna become millionaires, and all you need is your bond, your insurance, your authority. You pay all that money, and you better make some money. No, it's not like that. I hate to tell y'all, but it's not like that. Okay? If I don't do anything else, Calvin's going to be honest with you. Calvin is going to always tell you all the truth when it comes to this industry. Okay, because I've been through it. I was a broker. Now, on the surface, it looked like I made money my first year as a broker. But when you dig down and see how I was set up, you got to realize I did some stuff a year before that kind of put me in place to make money when I actually did start brokering. Okay, so I was all my credentials were in place a year before I actually started brokering. And there were things that I was doing during that year that was preparing my brokerage firm to be successful. And that's really is the blueprint for becoming successful as a first-year broker. Okay, you have to understand that your first year, you're not going to make money as a broker. I mean, you're just not going to do it unless you have certain things already in play. And one of those things that you have to have in place that prevents you from making money that first year is seasoning. You can't fake seasoning. You can't, I can't just say, okay, I got seasoning. No, that comes with time, okay? Seasoning comes with time. So today we're going to be talking about a wide variety. We're going to be really just kind of rehashing and briefly going over all the stuff that we've talked about in the last 7 weeks of our broker training, because we kind of gone through the whole thing. We went over contract negotiations. We went over, we've done your how your site, how you should have your onboarding site and how you should onboard shippers. We've gone over the contracts of what you should have with the shipper and between the shipper and the broker, the contract you should have with the broker and the carrier. We've gone over the broker dispatcher relationship. We've gone over book of business, and that's part of that relationship building. We've gone over all this stuff. And if you have been watching my broker's training over the past 6-7 weeks, you should have all the information you need to put together your brokerage firm and be successful. Okay? So you should have all that, all the information. So today what we're going to do is we're going to just go back and touch over some stuff. We're just going to have a conversation. We're going to touch over some stuff that we have talked about in brokerage. But before I do that, let me start sharing my screen real quick. And let's check on our YouTube people. Let me share my screen. Put this over here in the middle. I'll give me a second if I can move this out over here in the middle. I'm trying to move this over here in the middle. Hey, Angel. Angel, no, sit down. Angel, stop. Angel, stop. Go. Okay. That's my my little pit bull. He's not little, he's a big pit bull. He gets real antsy when I start talking to other people. He gets real jealous and real antsy. All right. So we are live on YouTube today. So we're gonna have this conversation, about broker. We're just gonna go over and kind of rehash some things that we talked about. But before I do that, let me go ahead and log on to my our sample onboarding site. That's going to be shipped with RBBS. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. Ship with RBBS LLC. What am I doing wrong? Hold on. Let's try to get this right again. Ship with RBBS. Sometimes I have a problem remembering my email. Let me take out the LLC. Ship with RBBS.com. I know, Angel. That's not it. It's ship with RBBS.com. Ship. What is my what's called it? My onboarding site. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to remember I very seldom go to the onboarding site because I don't broker anymore. Ship RBBS LLC. Okay, I think that's it. There it is. All right, there it is. Now we got it. All right, so there's the onboarding site. So we got that up, and we're going to be talking about all the things that are going to take you to become a broker. All right, first things first. Let me stop my share real quick because I want y'all to focus on what we got to say here. All right, look. One of the things about brokering, first of all, let me remind you all of what it takes to be a broker, what it's going to take to make money. All right, to become a broker, first of all, you have to have a bond. Okay, now that bond is going to bring you somewhere in the neighborhood. The bond is $75,000. Now let's talk about why that bond is so expensive. Because remember, before a few years ago, the bond was only $10,000. A lot of y'all don't remember that, but before was the 2018, 2017, around 2000, in the year 2000, 2010, 2012, and 13. I think they switched it over in 2014. Before that, the bond was only $10,000. That's all the bond was. Now some people say that they started raising the bond because there were too many people getting into it. Well, I think there was too many people of a certain type that was getting into it that they wanted to try and make it more difficult. That's why they made it more expensive. So, and we all know, and look, people can say what they want to say. But no, there is a such thing in this country as systemic racism. I mean, I put it out there. I said it. Some people gonna say, he just race baiting. Well, here's the thing about bait. Bait is not effective if nobody ain't eating it. Right? If you put bait out there to catch fish and you still catching fish, that means there's fish out there in the pond, right? So if you say I'm race baiting, I'm throwing my bait out there and people jump and still biting, that means there's racism out there. Come on, y'all. Come on, that's just how it is. All right. So the bond thing got because remember, this industry is still very much a good old boy industry. It really is. It really is. And it was very difficult for people of color to get in this industry. Even on the trucking side, they made it real difficult for people of color, people from other nationalities and things like that to really get in and take advantage of the opportunity that this industry put forth. Now, it's starting to change. It really is. And especially on this side of it, on the brokering and on the dispatching side, you have had an explosion over the last 3 years of people realizing that this is the perfect home-based business. This industry is ripe for opportunity. This business is recession-proof. This business is one of the few businesses you can get in, and if you apply yourself and you take the steps and you do what you're supposed to be doing, you will be successful. When I say successful, I'm talking about earn 100K per year your first year out. Plus, you can do that in this industry. So there were steps taken to make it more difficult to become a part of this industry. And one of those steps was they started adding more compliance things. They started making, the qualifications more stringent and more difficult to qualify to be in this business. One of the main things they did, they raised the bond from $10,000 to $75,000. Okay, that was a big hike. They didn't go 10 to 20, 25, from 25 to 40, from 40 to 50, 50 to 60. No, they went from 10 to 75,000. Exactly. They did a Jeff Bezos. Let's take off and go to the moon. I mean, literally, they took off and shot it up to the moon, made it $75,000, and that bumped a lot of people out. Now, here's also what happened. Then they put it in place, well, you can always go to a bond agency, okay, and let a bond agent get you a bond. But that's just a way for them to make more money. Because now, if you don't have a certain credit score, right, you got to put more money down in order for a bond agency to get you that bond. Y'all don't see what's going on? I mean, let's look at it for what it is. They wanted to make it more difficult for people of color, people who had, not as great credit, people who had a different class, as they put it, different economic structure. They wanted to make sure that people who had economic difficulties could not find an easy path into this business. Okay, so they raised the bond from $10,000 to $75,000. So now you got to have a $75,000 bond. If you don't have that kind of money laying around your house, you got to go to a bond agency. They're going to run your credit. If you have a weak credit, that bond could be as high as $10,000 just to get your bond. So now to get a bond, $75,000 bond, you can go as high as what it used to cost for the whole bond to secure the bond. That's crazy, right? Y'all gotta admit, that's kind of crazy. So now you can be paying as much as $10,000 just to secure your $75,000 bond. And then after you do that, you got your quarterly bond payment. $900 to $1,000 per quarter. That's expense number one. Expense number two, you gotta have insurance. It's got to be between $750 and $1.2 million. That's gonna bring you about $3,600 to $3,800 down on your insurance, and somewhere about $350 to $360, $372 per month for 9 months out of the year. That's expense number two. Expense number three, you gotta have your authority. And it's not cheap. People say, well, you can get it for $600, $700. No. By the time you finish paying for all of it, it's about $1,600 to $1,800, really, for your broker authority. Okay, it's expensive. Okay, you got to get that. Then you got all your little compliance things. All your compliance stuff. You got to get set up for drug tests. That costs money. You got to have drug testing every quarter. That costs money. Right? All this stuff you got to have, and all these other compliance things you got to have. So all together, you got about another $400-$600 a month of stuff you're going to wind up paying for just to keep your bond and your authority active. On top of your quarterly bond payment of almost $800 to $1,000 per quarter, on top of your insurance, which is $350, $362 for 9 months out of the year. So now you wind up paying what? Really, almost $1,000, $1,200 per month just to keep your bond active and to stay active and be able to operate in the industry. Now you're on the property, yeah, but once you get that one, you got to make that $1 million in your broker. Not. Why? Because the key element to brokering is doing what? You can't broker if you don't have loads. You can't get loads without going to where? The shippers. So then the shippers, they have their requirements to work with you as a broker. No shipper is going to sign on with a first-year broker without these things in place. And here are the things you're going to have in place. The first thing you're going to have, obviously, you got to have season. Shippers want to see that you have been in business for at least 9 months to a year before they will take a chance on you. Okay, that's called season. They want to see that your bond and your authority are both seasoned for 9 months to 1 year, 12 months, before they will take a chance on giving you access to their $500 million worth of freight. Because the average ship, I mean, look, the average shipper has about $500 million worth of freight. Okay, on the low end, I mean, just a low rinky dink, bottom of the barrel shipper has $1 million worth of freight. Some shippers have more than $1 billion worth of freight. So you think a shipper is going to trust little old you with all that money, all that freight, because that's what it is, money. They're going to trust you with all that money without knowing that you've been doing this for at least a year. No, people are not stupid. They're not going to do that. So that's the first thing you got to get out of there. That's the one you can't get around. There's no way to get around it because you can't just magically construct seasoning. There's no way to do it. Only way to get seasoning is time. Okay? And that's a whole year of you paying those fees and paying all that money out while you're being seasoned. So herein lies the problem why most brokerage firms go out of business, because they can't do business because they don't have the season, but they still got to pay out these monthly compliance and all this other stuff to stay in business while their firm gets seasoned. You all see the inherent problem there? If you're not making money, you're spending money. And if you don't have enough money in stockpile to weather you through that year's season, then you're going to go out of business. Simple as that. Now, if that's not enough, you also got to have what's called a Dun & Bradstreet Paydex score. And if you're a first-year broker, you got to have it. They want to see at least a 92. The best you can have is 100. Now, if you're an experienced broker, been around for a while, whatever, they will say, I mean, if you got an 87, 88, 89, yeah, you're good. But as a first-year broker, they want to see that 92. If you ain't got that, then they're not going to talk to you either. If that's not enough, they're going to want to see references. You got to have references. In other words, you got to have a book of business that you can present to them that these people will attest in writing to the fact that they have done business with you for 8 months to a year, consecutively without a break. I don't mean doing $200,000 this month, then you do $50,000 this month, then you do $300,000. No. It's got to be consecutively without a break. All 8 months to a year of consecutive business you've been doing with these people. You got to have 5 to 7 references. At the very minimum, 5. On average, I like to see 7. And it has to be in writing. Someone has to actually put their name, their John Hancock, down on paper that says that they have been doing business with you for at least 8 months to a year consecutively to the tune of at least $200,000 to $300,000 of business every month. Where are you going to get that if you ain't been doing it? Okay? You can give people a lie for you, yeah. But who's going to be willing to put it down in writing and put their name to it and tell that lie? Okay, let's be real. Okay? So you got to have that too. Now, so you got all this stuff you got to have. And y'all probably saying, well, damn, Calvin, that's a lot. Well, guess what? You got one more thing you got to have. And this is probably the one this is the one that really hits people. You got to have your financials in order. No one wants to do, these shippers don't want to do business with people who can't afford to do business. If you can't afford to do business, then they don't want to do business with you. It's not like, well, I thought I could just jump in here with nothing, with no money in the bank, no nothing. And that's why I'm coming in, because I want to make money. Well, this is one of those industries where when you first start out, you got to have money backing you in order to make money. Because remember, these shippers are giving you ownership to their freight. Okay? And they're not going to do that without what? Collateral. So they want to see your financials. And what they're looking for is your ability to prepay or put a deposit on the freight that they'll give you ownership of. somewhere between 10 and 20%. And remember, a little no-name rinky-dink shipper has $1 million worth of freight. So if they want you to do 10 to 20%, how much money is that? $100,000 to $200,000. Okay, how many of you have that kind of money laying around? You already done spent, almost probably up to $10,000 on your bond. You done spent, $3,500 out pocket on your insurance, and you spend $352, $62 a month. You're paying $800 to $1,000 a quarter, for your bond. You're paying all this money. You done spent $1,600, $1,800 on your authority. You're paying another $600, $700 a month on your compliance stuff. And now they're telling you got to have $200,000 in the bank. Just get on shipping some freight. So now you all are starting, and now I know a lot of y'all have never heard this from any other broker or freight broker trainer. Y'all been hearing all the rosy stuff. Yeah, man, just get your bond, get your insurance, take my course, and you're gonna make $1 million. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you that. Would I love you all to take my course? Yes, I would. But it makes no sense to me having you all take my course when you can't make any money on that side of the industry. That don't make no sense. Now, all is not lost. Because you probably say, well, Kevin, then why in the hell do you even have a course if I can't make no money in this day and age? Because there is a way you can do this. Okay, there is a way you can do it. Okay, but it's gonna take you realizing that there's certain things you have to have in place, and you have to do business a certain way, and certain things you have to do to make this happen. You realize that you have to be patient on becoming that quote unquote broker. It's not saying that you can't make money in the industry, right? While you're setting this up or getting your seasoning, getting all this other stuff done, you can take steps to do stuff where you can make money in the industry and accomplish what you want to accomplish as far as getting all your credentials, your seasoning, everything you need to be taken seriously or to be accepted by shippers in the industry as a broker. Okay. Here's one of the things that I did, because I understand business. I had ran several businesses before I even went into trucking. I own a tax firm. My very first business was started at the homeless shelter. Y'all don't, if you don't believe that, you can Google me. Let me share my screen here real quick. I'm gonna show you all something that a lot of y'all probably don't even know. If you go to Google and you Google me, you Google Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur. If you Google Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur, you got all these YouTube stuff, but I'm not gonna do the YouTube. I'm just gonna do Google search. If you Google search Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur, y'all see that little skinny guy right there? That's me. Y'all see that right there? That's me interviewing another homeless entrepreneur. Y'all see this right here, Homeless Dad on blogspot.com. That's me. Y'all see right there, Calvin Butler, Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur. That's me. There I am again in doggone Chinese. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is. In some other foreign country, they got my stuff up. Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur. All right. So all these things right here, secret diaries of home, all this stuff, Dog Wireless, that's my first business that I started when I was a homeless entrepreneur. See right there, Dog Wireless, that's my very first business on LinkedIn. Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur, right there, that's me. Okay? So all these things right here, that's me. There I am, the images, videos, all that type of stuff. Now, if I go up here and I click on videos, if I click on the videos, and let's look at some of these things right here. Let me share my sound real quick because I want y'all to understand what I'm telling you. Give me a second. Oh, here I am over here. Let's share my sound. Share sound. There we go. All right. Click on this first video. Here is me, the very first video I started, and this was in 2009 when I posted this, but I shot this video the day I got out of prison. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, "You've been to prison?" Yeah, I've been to prison. Okay. Look, like I told y'all, I started from the bottom. A lot of y'all look at where I am now, beautiful home, beautiful cars, this business that I got, making plenty of money and all this stuff. And they say, man, this guy here, he had it easy. Not. Not. I done been through stuff most of y'all can't even dream of. But here's the thing. I chose not to stay where I was. Okay, I made a conscious choice not to stay where I was. Okay? And a lot of you all right now are in a place where you're in a much better situation than I was when I started. Much better situation. You don't have any of the things going against you that I had going against me. For one thing, do you know how difficult it is for a felon to get good paying jobs and make advancements and get to the point to where you see me at now? I mean, everything is stacked against you. Especially when you're coming into a situation where you have nothing and you are homeless for about 18 months. And this is where I started. So.
All right, here's the deal. My name is Calvin Butler. I live here in Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm currently home. Now,
where's my volume?
I've seen all kind of stuff on the web where people say
you don't have any of the things that I had on volume right here. For one thing, do you know how difficult it is for a felon to get good paying jobs and make advancements and get to the point to where you see me at now? My bad, y'all. I forgot where I was. I'm in my man cave. I got to turn my speakers on. Especially when you're coming into a situation where you have nothing and you are homeless for about 18 months. And this is where I started. On here in a second. So,
here's the deal. My name is Calvin Butler. I live here in Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm currently home.
Stop this for a second right here.
Now,
where's my volume?
I've seen all kind of.
Let me stop that one. We'll go over here and do this one. All right.
All right, here's the deal. My name is Calvin Butler. I live here in Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm currently homeless.
Y'all hear it?
Now, I've seen all kind of stuff on the web where people say they're getting rich on the web with internet services, with websites, with AdSense, with all types of stuff. And from what I've been seeing, everybody on the web is a millionaire. They want to show other people how to become millionaires. Well, I'm not a millionaire. I have nothing. I'm just released from prison on May 1st, 2008, and I currently reside at the homeless shelter here in Tallahassee, Florida. But what I am going to attempt to do is create some online businesses. I'm going to sign up with AdSense, since everyone says that's the thing to do. I'm going to try and get on Twitter and see.
Y'all know that I didn't even know how to pronounce the word Twitter. I said Twitter. That tells you how much I knew when I first started out. Okay? So when people ask me, well, Calvin, I don't know anything about the trucking industry. Can I do this? Duh. Duh. Look where I started from. I mean, I was calling it Twitter. so look.
If I can do some marketing there as well. The goal here is to see if I can take myself from nothing and see what I can turn it into within 1 year. I'm going to be giving a daily update by video like you see here. I'm going to do one each day, maybe 3 a day. I don't know yet. We'll just see how it goes. But this is the first. And what I have as far as my resources right now, I have resources that we have. We have one Boost Mobile cell phone, unlimited calls, nights, weekends, text, and web, $50 a month. One Toshiba laptop, Toshiba satellite, equipped with a webcam and a built-in wireless card. I am, but those are my resources. That's all I have. Nothing else. No money, no car, no place to live. This is not a gimmick. This is not a joke. This is real. This is my life. Diary of a homeless entrepreneur.
All right, so that's it. That's how I started. Right? Believe it or not, that's how I started. And if you want to check out my channel, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is from homeless to financial independence. Okay, and and I have a playlist here where you can see all the videos that I recorded when I was doing the homeless entrepreneur thing. I've got over 69 videos here, this playlist. Now it's entitled Homeless to Self-Made Millionaire. Failure was never an option. Now, those you probably say, well, Kevin, you're not a millionaire. Well, technically I am. Can I stroke you a check for $1 million? No. But if you take all my assets, we have, my wife and I have a couple of homes, this home, another home, our businesses, all of our cars are paid for, our insurance policy, our whole life insurance, all that stuff. You take all that into account, we are technically millionaires. Okay, but that's on paper. I can't stroke you a check for $1 million. No, I can't do that. Okay, but to go from where I was to where we are now, I wanted to document that because I knew I was not going to stay where I was. I knew that. Don't ask me how I knew. I just knew, just my faith. Okay, I knew it because I knew the type of person that I was. I knew what goals I had. I knew a path that I wanted to follow, and I know where I did not want to stay. I did not want to stay where I was, and it just took that simple realization of realizing that I didn't want to stay where I was to get me to where I wanted to be. Okay, and so when people ask me now, can book and freight from home?
All right, here's the deal.
You look at the whole,
my name is Calvin Buck.
Here's the whole playlist here, right here. And people, they ask me now, oh shoot, where's that playlist? Oh, here we go. People ask me now, full playlist, there we go. And there's the full playlist. And you can see my progression. And things that I did, some things worked, some things didn't, but I put it all on here. Okay? So when you look at where I started from and where I eventually wound up, and I want y'all to really hear me on when I tell you this. Out of all the things that I did to get me to this point, the thing that had the biggest contribution was the trucking industry. It was the most successful and the biggest contribution that started. And I got started, you see here, I started doing my trucking stuff right about here. All right. This is why I was doing all my trucking, because I had my tax firm. After tax firm, then, I went into the trucking industry, logistics, all this is trucking stuff. This has been the biggest part of my success. And I literally started with absolutely almost zero, no resources. I was still homeless when I was doing my first videos on booking freight. I was doing it at McDonald's, Starbucks, little restaurants, the park and stuff like that. So, and I eventually built up and built up and built up. And now this is what it comes to. And what I'm trying to convey to you all as brokers, as starting out as a broker, yes, you can do it and make money, but there's a certain way you have to go about that. Now, I want to talk to you all about, let me stop my sharing here real quick. I want to talk to you all about how you're going to set yourself up to be quote unquote successful your first year as a broker. When I started setting myself up as a broker, I was actually still driving trucks. I was still an owner operator. I was an owner operator running under Western Express. Okay. Before that, I was a company driver with Covenant, and then came home after about 9 months of driving with Covenant, close to a year, bought my first truck on a line of credit, got myself a business line of credit, bought my first truck. That way I didn't have any payments on it. I just paid my line of credit. I had the title to it. I own it outright, because that's how you do it if you want a smart way of buying your inventory, right? You're gonna do it on a line of credit. You're gonna go out and you're gonna apply for your business line of credit. You're gonna buy your truck, and then you got your truck that's paid for, and then you own it. Then you go back out and you run under your own authority. So that's what I did. So I was running on the Western Express. Now, when I was running on the Western Express, right? Western Express, despite the company having a bad name, they actually had a pretty good owner op program. that are very good. They're one of the strongest owner-op programs out there. Because they're one of the few companies out there that allow owner-operators to find their own loads. Not under forced dispatch. I can find my own freight. I never even had to run a Western Express load ever. I can literally run my own freight, and I'm running my own freight underneath their authority, right? I've got my truck and all this stuff, so I'm running under Western Authority. I'm running under the Western Express name, and I am collecting, I think it was 73 1/3% of the load fee. Okay, that was the split. I got to keep 73 1/3% of the load fee as an owner operator with Western Express. So in doing that and finding my own freight and working with brokers and dispatchers and things like that, I didn't really work with dispatchers when I first started because I really didn't clearly understand how it all worked. But I did work with brokers. I worked directly with brokers as an owner operator, and I worked with shippers that I had made contact with when I was with Covenant Transport. So I worked with brokers and shippers. Then later on, I started working with dispatchers and started understanding the role of dispatchers and brokers and everything. So in doing that, I realized that I wanted to become a broker because the brokers were sitting at home, right, getting contracts with shippers, right, and then negotiating with the shipper to pay them a certain amount of money to put that load with me so I can run it. And then I get paid the load fee, and the broker gets their money, gets paid their percentage from the shipper. I said, well, shoot, I can make a lot more money, thinking to myself, if I just go on the broker side of become a broker, sit at home, right? Sit at home. I make contracts with 9, 10, 12, 15, 20 shippers, got all this freight that I got access to, and I can get 50, 100, 200 carriers to run all that freight. And I can sit back home and make my percentage and make a whole lot more money than I'm making trying to run these loads, because I can only run one load at a time or 2 loads a day or 3 loads a day. But you got so many hours you can run, so you can't make so much money. Run it that way, so I think I can do it as a broker. But here's the thing, I did my research. Unlike most people, you all just jump on a broker course and say, I'm gonna just, no, they say I can do this, and they say I can make a lot of money my first year. All I gotta do is get this, and I can do it. And I didn't go that route. I did my research. I actually did my research. And you can find this stuff out if you just look for it. So in doing my research, doing my due diligence, because I had been in business before with my tax firm, and I sold it to go into the trucking company, to go into trucking. All right. And so I had been a business person before. I started a business from a homeless shelter, selling stuff from Alibaba and all this other stuff, and just doubling up on it, selling it on Craigslist, and meeting people at the police department and doing the transactions and stuff there. I had that's what got me out of the homeless shelter to the point where I got into trucking. So I had ran businesses before. And I knew that I needed to do my due diligence, because nothing is just what it is on the surface. And you never accept just what people are telling you. Always. And not just in this, but especially if you're going to think about becoming a freight broker. Do your due diligence. For those of you who don't understand what that term means, do your research. Do your own background. Do your background. Check the stuff out for yourself. Don't just listen to what people are saying on YouTube. Don't listen to what third-party people are telling you. Go to the sources, look for the sources yourself, and do your due diligence. Okay, so that's what I did. I did my due diligence. And I found out that shippers don't work with. How did I find this out? I talked to shippers. Hey, Mr. Shipper, hey, how you doing? Hey, Cal, how you doing? While I was delivering out of place, I'm sitting there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours waiting to get loaded. Guess what I did? I went around to the front office. Talk with some of the shippers at FedEx, at Walmart, okay, at Amazon. I'm in there talking with the distribution manager, the plant manager. I'm in there saying, hey, let me ask you a question. I'm thinking about getting my own authority and all this type of stuff. Just thinking about becoming a broker. Let me ask you a question. In order for me to get a contract with you all, what do I have to have in place? I got this directly from the shippers. I didn't listen to what YouTube was saying while all the other people said. I went to the shipper. She said, well, Cal, we'd be happy to work with you, but here's what you got to have. Okay, because you've been delivering freight here almost a year now. Almost 6 to 8 months, you're always on time. So as a So as an owner operator, as a truck driver, you've been doing great. We'd be happy to work with you. But in order to get on with us, for us to approve you, for our front office to approve you to be a broker and take ownership of some of our freight, here's what you got to have. Okay? You got to get your bond. You got to be legal. You got to get all this stuff. You got to get your business up. You got to get your LLC and all that type of stuff. You got to be registered with the state. You got to get your bond. You got to have at least this much insurance to run freight for us. And you also have to have seasoning. Okay, what do you mean by that? Well, you have to have been a broker. Your bond and your authority and all that stuff have to have been active for at least 1 year before we would even consider letting you run with us. On top of that, as a first-year broker, even if you do have that seasoning, you got to have your financials in place. Okay, you got to prove to us that you can afford to do business with us. What do you mean by that? Well, we're not just going to give you ownership of $500 million worth of freight. In some cases, we may require you to prepay for a portion of that freight. It's kind of like leaving a deposit on with some type of collateral you're putting down. I said, okay, how much is that? $5,000-$10,000? He's glad. No, a little bit more than that. We require at least a minimum 10%. So if we give you $1 million on with the freight, because that's the lowest that we would go on letting you take ownership of some freight. If we give you $1 million on with the freight, we're gonna want a minimum of 10%. In most cases, we require upward close to 15, 20, sometimes 25%. So you mean to tell me I gotta have $100,000 in order to take ownership of $1 million of freight? Yeah. Oh, this is more expensive than I thought it was. This is bigger business than I thought it was. So this is how business is done. That's okay. So I found all that stuff out. So now I'm still working as an owner operator, but I'm determined to become a broker. So I go back to what I learned in running a business. I went back to the traditional ways you start a business. Y'all watch Shark Tank, don't you? Don't y'all watch Shark Tank? Right? When they come on there, what are they going on there to get the sharks to do what? To become what? Investors. To put their money behind their idea or their business so that they can go out there and get more business, right? So I went back to the basics, the traditional basics of a business. If I gotta have $100,000 to $200,000, I clearly don't have $100,000 to $200,000 to pay. I gotta go out and find myself some investors. And I gotta put together an executive summary. Right? I got to put together an executive summary that outlines the structure of my business and where it's headed, and my map, my roadmap to show investors how I'm going to get from here to a certain point, money-wise and business-wise, so that I can repay them and help them make money on the money that they invest with me. As I put that together, I got to go knock on some doors, some people with money. So guess what? That's what I did. I put together my executive summary and all that stuff, but then I had the problem of solving what? The seasoning problem. So I figured, as a business, you can actually have certain divisions within the same company, or you can have subsidiaries of the same company. So my trucking company is RBBS Transport, LLC. So when I do my articles, when I do my next articles of incorporation, or I can go in and contact the attorneys who handle my business setup, say I need to do an addendum to my articles of incorporation. Okay, Mr. Butler, I'm looking to add a brokerage division to my trucking company. Okay, that's easy enough. You're gonna do it on the same name? Yes, the exact same name. RBBS Transport, LLC. Brokerage. I already have RBBS Transport, the trucking company. So now I'm adding the brokerage division to that same name. And I go out and get my bond, right? I get my authority. I hold off on getting insurance until the last possible minute. Because after you get your bond, you got to have your insurance within 8 months. So I wait up until the last minute because I don't want to be paying that insurance cost the whole time, right? Because remember, the seasoning is only going to be on your bond and what? Your authority. Those are the two things you got to have active for at least a year. right? Your season is not on the insurance. So I waited up until the last minute to get the insurance. All right. So I waited up. I'm smelling like something burning. I'm just smelling. Y'all hold on a second. I see if my wife is cooking something, on the stove. Y'all hold on. Baby. I smell something. Okay. No, man, I had to take a break to come check on that. You got it. You get it outside? All right, don't y'all laugh. My wife was burning boiled eggs. Now she can cook. Now don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It was just a boiled egg. You put the eggs and you kind of forget about it. They boil and then they just. But I caught them before they cracked open and stuff. So, all right. So at this point. I've done my due diligence and everything, and I'm looking at this. I'm saying, okay, now I need to get my seasoning. So what I decided to do was this: from being in business before, I knew that I could set up a separate division in the same company, right? So I went ahead and got my bond, paid for that. Got my authority, paid for that, right? I held off on getting my insurance because that wasn't part of the stipulation for seasoning. Y'all see what I'm doing? So to the same name. So guess what? My brokerage firm is now getting seasoned while I'm still making money as an owner operator. When I get to 8 months, right at 8 months, I get my insurance on the brokerage side. Because that's as far as I can go before I had to have my insurance in place. So I go and get the insurance. I only got about 3 or 4 more months to go, and I got a year season. You see what I'm saying? But I'm making money as an owner operator. So not like I'm hurting. I can pay all this stuff because I'm bringing down, $12,000, $15,000 a week, as an owner operator. I'm running good freight. I'm educating myself on how to find good paying freight and what good freight is, right? I'm building relationships with shippers because they know me from RBBS Transport LLC. I'm building that bond with shippers. I'm building that relationship with shippers. So when I do decide to go into broker, I just go back to the same shipper. Come on, yeah, Mr. Brother, you've been running freight for us for how long? And we see here you got the seasoning, on your what's called. So yeah, we just seems to just go ahead and switch you over from the trucking company and start you running freight as a broker. Y'all see my line of thought there, and you see how even though technically my first year as a broker was not my first year as a broker, but in reality it was my first year as a broker. But I was able to set my seasoning up and have that taken care of while I'm waiting it out and still making money at the same time. And this is how you have to think. And this is stuff that other freight broker trainers are not going to tell you. That's one thing they don't know. They've never done it themselves. They probably just got started with a brokerage firm and was a broker agent or whatever the case may be, and then did all this other stuff, and they had money in place, so they did this and that. But if you're trying to start out as a broker, it's extremely difficult to do it if you're not done the right way, not done the proper way, if you don't set yourself up right for it. So now I had my season on place. I still had that fact of what? Them financials. That's why I did my executive summary. Took about 4 weeks off, came home. I thought, whew. But I tell you, I was hustling. I was knocking on everybody's door. I went to doctor's office. I went to dentist's office. I went to chiropractors. I went to insurance agents. I went to lawyers. I went to all types of places. Anybody who I thought had money. Anybody who I thought had money. And I basically hit them with my pitch. I didn't go to people who were necessarily in the trucking industry. I went to people who was outside of the trucking industry, because if I'm going to people within the trucking industry, it's actually kind of harder to get people who are already in the trucking industry to invest in you coming into the trucking industry. I found that it's easier to approach people and educate them on the trucking industry. And then when they, here's the thing. If you're talking to someone who already knows what's going on in a certain industry, it's going to be difficult to wow them, right? It's going to be difficult to show them something that they never seen before and have them be, whoa, I didn't know that. So if you're trying to convince somebody in the trucking industry to put money into your business, they say, okay, well, yeah, okay, I already know that. I mean, why would I want to put money in your pocket to have you doing this? I mean, when I'm already doing this. So you go to people who are not familiar with the trucking industry and you enlighten them on how profitable the trucking industry is. You get them to realize that everything they see around them was on the back of a truck at one time or another. It has to be on the back of a truck. You get them to see that this industry is probably one of the only industries that is 100% recession proof. Nothing stops it. And then you show them the kind of money and how easy it is to scale that business. And they look at it and say, wow. Okay, because when you watch Shark Tank, those are the ones that get the deal with the sharks, right? The ones where they have the sharks saying, wow, right? When the sharks are sitting back doing this right here, they ain't going to put no money in that business. They ain't got no interest in it. They're thinking of ways to tell these people no. But when they got it like this right here, really? Wow, you did what? Is that much? Then you got something. So I started going to these places, and guess what? I'm hitting up all these people, and I finally land a law firm, prominent law firm, and a sports management firm. Now, the law firm had a connection with the sports management firm because the owner of the law firm, his son owned the sports management firm. So they both invested to the tune of $266,000 each. So here I am. I got my brokerage set up. I got a year season. I got connections to get I already got, my references in place because I've been running and dealing with shippers and brokers and dispatchers and distribution plants under the name of what? RBBS Transport LLC, which is the same name as my brokerage firm, RBBS Transport LLC. And now I got my money in place. I got backers, investors who have put in close to $600,000 in the RBBS Transport LLC business account. Woo! And I got business partners, prominent business partners, a law firm who not only won a lawsuit on behalf of the state of Florida against the tobacco industry, but collected $14 billion. It's one thing to win a lawsuit, it's another thing to collect on. a lot of lawsuits get won, but they never really collect. This law firm not only won the lawsuit against the tobacco industry on behalf of the state of Florida, but they collected $14 billion from the tobacco industry on behalf of the state of Florida. The same law firm spearheaded the NFL concussion lawsuit. Y'all heard about those. The same law firm, they're the ones who started that class action suit. Okay? And the guy's son owned a professional sports management firm. That's how they got the connection with the football players and they spearheaded that lawsuit. So now I've got prominent backers, I got investors, partners in my business. So now when I go to shippers, and shippers start, asking me for references and this and that, and they see that and they check my financial. Oh, they got close to $600,000 in the bank. Okay, Calvin, you got it going on. You got some stuff going on. Then they check to see who my partners are. Ooh, this is your partner, and this is your partner. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's negotiate on your margin. What's it going to take? Now, I am in the driver's seat. You can't go to a shipper and not have something behind you that says that you have some power, that says that you have some type of promise, that says that to the shipper, this is somebody I want to be in business with. Because that's how the game works. That's business, as a whole. That is how business works. And if you think you're going to jump into this side of the industry and not know how to work the business aspect of it, then you're delusional. You're delusional. So why do you think, I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these freight broker trainers, they just want you to take their class until they can make some money. I'm not saying that they have a bad class. I'm saying that they are luring you in under false pretenses. Okay, I don't want to do that. I'd rather let you all know what really goes down and how you really need to do it. And then if you decide you want to take my course, you can take my course. But I'm not going to lure you in under false pretenses, knowing good and doggone well that if you come in this way and you don't do these other things, and I'm telling you, well, you can do this, no, you ain't gonna make no. That's just a lie. That's the deceptive part. Okay, and that's not how I operate. Anybody who knows me, anybody who's seen anything that I've done, I don't operate that way. So I'm going to give you all the correct information, the correct formula for creating a successful first-year brokerage firm. And to start out, it's not really a first-year brokerage firm. Your brokerage firm actually was in business. You just wasn't operating as a broker. You just letting your brokerage firm get seasoned. So for those of you who want to come into this on your first year, do this first. If you are a trucking company, run your brokerage firm as a division under your trucking company. Do an addendum to your auto corporation and restructure how your firm is set up. So now you're not just a trucking company, you're a trucking company with a brokerage division. Okay? Go ahead and get your authority. Go ahead and get your bond and hold off on your insurance side of it until the last possible minute. Because your brokerage firm is now running on the same name as your trucking company, as you're doing business with a trucking company, you're also building seasoning, and you're all the same contacts that you have in your trucking company, those will be your references for your brokerage firm when the time comes. Okay? Now, if you don't have a trucking company, I suggest you start out as a dispatch firm. Start dispatching first. Why? Because dispatching is fairly easy to get started up. Now, I have to warn you, if you start out as a dispatch firm, there is a good possibility that you would never, ever, ever, ever want to become a broker. I'm just letting you know that. I'm just letting you know that. Because that dispatch side is so alluring and it's so productive and it's you can make a lot of money as a dispatch without all the headaches, without all the compliance issues, everything that. You may decide, man, I don't want to become no doggone broker. I like being a dispatcher. I ain't got to put up with all that crap the broker's got to put up with. I make just as much money, if not more. That's just a warning. I'm giving you all that. I'm letting you all know up front. If you go that route, you may never, ever want to become a broker. Okay? But if you know that you're going to do your brokerage firm and your head strong set on that, start out as a dispatch firm. Why? Because as a dispatch firm, you don't need any type of authority. So that's an expense you don't have to worry about. You don't need insurance. That's an expense you don't have to worry about. You don't need any type of bond. That's an expense you don't have to worry about. What you do need, you need to be legally established as a legal business entity and registered with your state. So you got to have your EIN number. That's free. Go to irs.gov. Takes about 5 minutes. You got your EIN number. You're going to have to be established as a business entity, which means you're going to have some type of business classification, LLC, sole proprietorship, C corporation, S corporation. One of those you got to have. In most states, that runs you between $175 and $325 to get that set up. If you're gonna have somebody set it, you're gonna do it yourself. I think it's like $125, $150 just to do it and register, with your own state. In some states, it's less than that. It's like $20-some. It just depends on where you're doing it at, on what state you're gonna be operating out of. Okay, so that's really is your biggest expense as a dispatch firm, is getting set up legally as a business. Okay, Now, after that, you're gonna have some operational expenses. You're gonna have to have at least 4 or 5 load boards because the way you have to operate as a dispatch. You can find freight, you can't get freight, you can't post freight, you can only locate freight for the carriers you have on the contract. Okay, you gotta have a way of finding the owner operators and pitching them. So you're gonna have to pay for some type of owner operators locator type site or something like this. You're gonna have to pay for your load boards because that's where you're gonna find the majority of loads. You're gonna need at least 4 or 5. They're gonna run you about $39 per month, upward to $149, $150 per month. So that's about a $300, $350 expense right there per month. Okay, you're also gonna need access to shippers because you do want to have some direct shippers. You just cannot go into a contract with the shipper. Listen to what I'm telling you. Brokers go into a contract with shippers for the shipper to pay them a margin. Dispatchers cannot enter into a contract with shippers. Dispatchers are really entering into a gentleman's agreement with shippers. I have access to a whole bunch of carriers who want to run freight. If you'll be kind enough to send me your load list each day, I can go to your load list instead of going to the load board, and I can find freight that matches with the carriers that I have on the contract, and we can help you move some of that freight. Now, Mr. Shipper, this is a gentleman's agreement. Why? Because I'm not charging you anything for it. I can't negotiate a margin with you like a broker can. I'm getting paid by the owner operators that I have in the contract. That's why it's considered a gentleman's agreement. There's no contract, nothing like that. You just contact the shipper. Let me perform this free service for you. Let me help you move some of your freight, and it won't cost you anything other than what you're paying the carrier. A broker says, let me help you move some of your freight. This is what you pay the carrier. Now let's talk about what you're going to pay me to move that freight for you. You see the difference in how that conversation goes? So that's the difference in how you're supposed to be paid. Who says so? For the most carrier association, association said that. And they say that, and let me go ahead and find that for you. In case y'all think I'm just talking off the side of my head. Let me share my screen, and we're going to look it up. We're going to go to Google, and we're going to look up. All right, yeah, my speakers are working okay. Testing, testing, testing. All right, yeah, my speakers are all working okay. All right, so let's go to Google and let's find, I think it's CFR 371.9. There we go. Obligations, compensation, applicability, rebating. It's one of these here. CFR 371. I think it's that one. It might be CFR 370. All right, y'all see this? Now look, y'all see this right here? For those of you who think I'm just talking outside of my head, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. 49 CFR 371.9, rebating and compensation. Okay. A broker shall not charge or receive compensation from a motor carrier for brokerage services. Do y'all see that? Y'all see that? So for all you brokers out there who are getting a load from the shipper, and you're posting it, and the shipper tells you that the load fee is $3,000, and you're posting on the load board for $2,500, you are in violation. Have I not been telling you all that? You are in violation. Now, look. I don't mean to step on those. Well, yes, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm stepping on some toes, but guess what? I don't care. Because I train my students the right way to do business. And you all know there's a ton of brokers out there that is violating right now. Right? You all know there's a ton of brokers out there who are violating right now. Let me say hi to some people over here on YouTube. Styles Cushman, good morning. He says, true, coach, true. Tracy Mahan says, good morning, everyone. Dwayne W says, amazing. So yeah, look, thank y'all for joining us. I know it took me a while to get back to you, but I was kind of involved in doing some educating here. So there it is right there. Okay, a broker shall not charge or receive compensation from a motor carrier for brokerage service where the broker owns or has the material beneficial interest in the shipment. Duh! Ain't the broker got a contract with the shipper? Is that not, are they not taking ownership of the freight? Are they not having material interest in the shipment? Come on, people. I mean, do your due diligence. All right, the broker is able to exercise control over the shipment because the broker owns the shipper owns the broker, or there is a common ownership of the two. The broker shall not give or offer to give anything of value to any shipper, consignor, or consignee of their officers or employees, except inexpensive advertising items given for promotional purpose. So that covers all your bases right there. In no way, shape, or form is a broker is supposed to be getting paid by the carrier. I mean, you're not supposed to do it, child. Now, let's look for this other one. There's another one. Let me go back and look. I think it's CFR 372. I think it's 372. Uh, 49 CFR. I think that's it. Nature. Exemptions, commercial zones, terminal. There's one for hazardous materials. I think it's under 372, the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 49 for transportation. I'm gonna find this statute for y'all that shows y'all the difference between brokers and let me do this. Let me pull up CFR bona fide agents. All right. One that talks about definition. Here we go, right here. Yes, CFR 371.2. On my bad, I had it wrong. 371.2. All right. So let's go here and let's look at this. All right. All right. Now here is the difference between the brokers and dispatchers. Now everybody says, well, it was for years people said dispatchers are illegal. Dispatchers are illegal. Dispatchers are illegal. You know, brokers can get their money from the carrier. Well, I just showed y'all that that's a lie. Brokers not supposed to get no money from the carrier. Did we not just show you all that? Do y'all know brokers that are doing that right now? So that means they are what? Thieves. They robbing carriers. They stealing. I don't know the way to call it. They stealing from the carrier. That's why you have a lot of these old school carriers say brokers are stealing our money. Because they are. If they're operating that way, they are. And I've been showing you all the correct way of how brokers are supposed to get paid and how they're supposed to negotiate the market. All right, CFR 371.2 definition. Broker means a person who, for compensation, arranges or offers to arrange the transportation of property by an authorized carrier. Motor carriers are persons who are employees or bona fide agents of carriers, are not brokers within the meaning of this section when they arrange or offer to arrange the transportation of shipments which they are authorized to transport and which they have accepted and legally bound themselves to transport. So when people say that, people don't know how to read these things. They don't know how to interpret. because it clearly states that brokers are persons who for compensation arranges or offers to arrange the transportation of property by an authorized carrier. They're not saying they're getting paid by the author, but we already showed you that brokers cannot get paid by the motor carrier, right? We already showed you that, right? When they're talking about brokers are making that arrangement with shippers for shippers to pay them to get the carriers to move their freight because the carriers are authorized. Who else does it say is also authorized to arrange that transportation for the carriers on behalf, with the freight coming from the broker? Bona fide agents. Right here it says that, it says that they are not brokers within that meaning, but that they essentially when they can arrange or offer to arrange transportation of shipments, which they are authorized to transport. So that covers the legality of bona fide agents who are dispatchers. Now, if you have any other doubt that bona fide agents are what they are dispatchers in the sense of what this statute is really referring to, it covers the definition of bona fide agent. Bona fide agents are persons who are part of the normal organization of a motor carrier and perform duties under the carrier's direction pursuant to a pre-existing agreement. What's the pre-existing agreement, everybody? The dispatch agreement. That's the pre-existing agreement. Reading is fundamental, people. Y'all never watched the Reading Rainbow? LeVar Burton? Mr. Star Trek guy? Jordan LaForge? Come on. Okay, persuading to a pre-existing agreement. The dispatch agreement, which provides for a continuing relationship. Isn't your dispatch agreement that you signed with your carriers for you to continue to find them freight persuading to their certain criteria? Precluding the exercise of discretion on the part of the agent in allocating traffic between the carrier and others. All right, y'all. So when you get some Yahoo that's telling you, well, dispatchers are illegal, and you get some brokers, you get some of these broker trainers who are telling you, well, all you got to do is when you get the freight from the shipper, if the shipper has it for $3,000, how you going to get paid is you're going to put it on the load board, because you can do this because you have authority, you have ownership of it. You can post it on the load board for $2,500. And that's less that's your fee. No. You're teaching people how to steal. That's what you're doing. You're teaching people how to steal money from the carrier. That's what you're doing. You are teaching people how to steal. So stop doing it. Great broker trainers, stop teaching these new brokers how to steal. Brokers out there who've been doing this, stop stealing from the owner operator. So that's what you're doing. You're stealing their money. Okay? You're supposed to negotiate a margin on top of that $3,000 with that low fee. If the low fee is $3,000, you're supposed to go to that shipper and say, Mr. Shipper, now that that we're negotiating here about these loads, let's say you got a bunch of loads here that's paying, $3,000, $4,000, whatever the case may be. And this is the reason why you don't have to negotiate every load. You negotiate a margin, a percentage of margin, no matter what the load is paying, because all load has to move. Shippers have to move cheap freight as well as have to move medium range freight and the high dollar freight. But if you negotiate the margin the way the statute tells you to negotiate it, really they got loads that's paying $2,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is. Loads are paying $1.25, $3.25, or $5.25. All of it, you negotiate a margin on it. So you say, okay, you have to evaluate how much cheap freight they have, how much high dollar freight they have, whatever. So based on how much cheap freight versus how much high dollar freight they have, you're going to make a decision within your own self and the South Gate. In order for me to be able to move all of your freight, move a certain percentage of all of your freight, I'm going to need a margin of 33 1/3%. So that means that if you got cheap freight that's paying $1.10 per mile, I'm going to need 33% on top of that. I'm going to need 36 cents per mile to help me move that freight. So that means on your freight that's paying $5, right, plus 33%, you're going to get $1.65 per mile on that one. So if that freight right there that's paying $5, you negotiate your margin at 33%. If that freight right there is going, let's say, 1,000 miles, your cut on that is going to be $1,006. The carrier's cut, because they're getting that $5 per mile, you're getting the margin on top of that. The carrier is getting that $5 a mile, so that means their cut is going to be what? $5,000. So you can post that load on the load board for $5,000, what the shipper is actually offering to the carrier, or you can sweeten the pot. You cannot go down on it and take money from the carrier. Let me repeat this. You cannot post that load on the load board for less than that $5,000, because that's what the shipper is offering to pay to what? The carrier to move that freight. That is set. You're not supposed to touch that money. That's not your money to touch. Your money is the margin you negotiated. So that $1,006, that's what you got. That's your pay if you move that freight at that $5,000. Now you can sweeten that pot to make it more competitive on the load board, because shippers do allocate freight, the same freight, to multiple brokers. Okay? Someone the other day sent me something, wanted me to post it on one of my groups, that they called a broker double broker, because they saw the same load with another shipper. With another broker, the exact same load, but they had it posted for less money than what the other broker had it posted for. So that's double broker. No, that's not double brokering. That's just being competitive. Because shippers give brokers the same loads. Okay? Let's make that very clear right here and there. So what you can do, you can say, well, I want to make my load more competitive because I see that 4 other brokers have that same load. And they're posting it at $5,000, or they're posting it at $5,100, or some broker is stealing and posting it at $4,800 or $4,300. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to be more competitive. You can say, I'm going to give up $300. So then my fee becomes $706, and the load gets posted at $5,300. Y'all see how that's supposed to work? That's how it is supposed to work. Let me check with my YouTube people to make sure that they're getting this. All right. I hope y'all are getting this on YouTube. If y'all see how this is supposed to work, go ahead and comment down and say, I got it, makes sense. This works, this is what it's supposed to be. All right. So that's how that is supposed to work. Okay. So you're supposed to negotiate your margins on top of whatever the load is paid. So don't steal money from the carriers, y'all. Don't do that. Don't do that. What we're doing today, we're going over kind of all the stuff that we talked about over the last 7 weeks during our broker training. Because our broker training is approximately 7 weeks long. Our dispatch training is 6 weeks long. So we ran the cycle of our broker training, and I'm doing a recap of all the stuff that we have kind of gone over the last 7 weeks. And then next week, we'll start back over on broker training again, start back from the beginning on how to set up your firm. Okay, so we'll start back from the beginning, but I'm doing a recap of the 7 weeks of training that we've done in the Brokers Island. All right, so that's how you're supposed to be getting paid. Okay, this is the legal way to do it within the bounds of the statute, which I have just gone over with you all. So today you all are learning all this hearsay that y'all are hearing. Well, dispatches are illegal. Brokers can take money from the carrier. All of that BS. Okay, I'm not just telling it to you all. Y'all think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm showing you all the statutes. We're going through them, and we're showing it to you where it really is. None of this conjecture, none of this where I heard, none of this where, in my opinion, no. None of that crap flies. Okay? So I'm showing you all what really is and how this stuff really works. How you're supposed to operate as a broker, how you can become a broker, how you can make money as a broker your first year, and certain things you have to do. We've gone over all that stuff, how you got to be set up, how things you got to have in place, this is that. I'm giving you all the truth right now. Okay, that's what I'm sharing with y'all, the truth on brokering. All right, so this is the statute. You can read it for yourself. 49 CFR 371.2. That's the part of the statute that handles definitions. Broker, bona fide agents who are dispatchers. And we've already gone over the statute that tells you how brokers can get paid and they cannot get paid. We already showed you ways that brokers cannot charge carriers. Brokers cannot take money from the carrier's load fee. And we all know brokers that do that because you're lazy. You've been taught the wrong way. Okay? All right. If I sound serious, because this is serious stuff. Still is serious, right? You think it's not serious to an owner operator that you're taking their money? That's serious stuff. All right? That's serious stuff, y'all. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Styles Kushner says, perfect, understand. All right, I want to make sure y'all understand this stuff. Because I don't want y'all to go out and repeat all that crazy stuff. You can tell them Calvin said it. They have a problem, tell them call me, 866-973-6445. I don't mind the phone call. They call me direct. Somebody told me that you said I was stealing. Well, are you taking money from the load fee that you get from the carrier? Well, yeah, that's what, then you stealing it. Then you're a thief. I said it. I'm not gonna take it back. Okay. Own it. You're a thief, you're a thief. All right. So that's how you're supposed to get paid. That's how it's supposed to work out. All right. Now, going over that, let's talk about what you're gonna need equipment-wise as a broker. Okay. Now, here's what I would suggest. Get yourself a computer, like something that's panoramic, or one of those computer stations that has where you can have multiple screens. A panoramic screen is ideal, something that's big, like what y'all see here. But I can take this and I can let's see. Let me show you what I can do. I can do this. I can reduce that screen down. I can go over here and I can add another screen. Y'all see how my screen is now split? And I can pull up documents here in the middle, or my calculator or something like this right here in the middle. Y'all see how this is done? So I can have multiple things up where I can go in here and I can pull up, let's say, load boards on one. Let's look up here. I can do pull up load boards, okay, on this one, right? I can come over here and I can do, let's say, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's do my rate calculators or lane or my lane calculator with on the CN. Log in to my CN. I can have my CN pulled up over here where I can access my trucks, I can access my shippers, I can access all my stuff I need to access over here. I got my load board over here, or I can reduce this down right? And I can put this in the middle, and I can open up another one over here. Give me a second here. Let me get some of this. Where's my third one at? All right, there we go. I finally got back in. All right, I don't know what happened, but meeting the stream on YouTube. All right, there we go. I'm back in now. All right, so I don't know what happened, but my Zoom just kind of freaked out on me here for a second. Let me share. Go back to share. All right, here we go. All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but you know, it just my Zoom just kind of went kind of haywire on me, and it kind of blotted me out. So I finally got back. Maybe somebody didn't like what I was saying, and decided they wanted to let's put a chokehold on it. Okay, all right. But as I was saying, the equipment you're gonna need. As I was saying, the equipment that you all are gonna need, you're gonna be able to you want to be able to have up multiple screens. Okay, like you see here. Okay, like you see here, I have multiple screens up. Let me go back here. I have multiple screens up. You're gonna have to be able to have these multiple screens in order to be able to properly, you know, be able to evaluate the things you need to evaluate. Like you see here, I have this up. I have my load board up. You know, I have my rate thing up. I have my calculator up. So you can have all these different things up. Because with this one, I can actually put up about 4 different screens on here. I can have a screen up here at the top. I can lessen them down. I can do the whole screen like this. I can open it back up, and I can lessen this down and have a, you know, like a screen right over here. I can take this one, condense it down, and then have a screen like that. I can do that. And then I can do another one like this one. If I do another one, close window, I can open up another window if I want to. I can take this and I move it off here and have it like this. Y'all see what I just did? I can put that right there. Now I got a different whole window over here. Right? So I can do that and have 3 windows up, or I can put a whole window up like that. I can go back to all 3, and then I can have like smaller windows down here. Like if I want to do my calculator, I can take my calculator and I can put it, you know, down here or somewhere over there like that. So you want to have some type of way of being able to do multiple screens, so you can do multiple things. Okay, so you can be looking at different sources. You can be looking at your load board. You can be looking at freight. You know, you can be looking at freight here. You can be checking your lane rates here for the, you know, for the loads that are not pulling up. In the rates. So you can do that. You can check your lane rates here. You go over here. You can be doing something else over here. You know, so you want to be able to have multiple screens to where you can kind of see the entire board and be able to, you know, work efficiently on multiple different screens. Okay, so something like this, what I have right here in this panoramic thing, this screen, this monitor cost me about $350. You want to have a computer. If you're doing a laptop, you want to make sure that it has at least 1 terabyte of operating space, storage space. Okay, because you're gonna need for it to work fast. You want something that's gonna work fast. So at least 1 terabyte. Okay, if you're doing an all-in-one desktop, make sure it has at least 1 terabyte. If you're doing a laptop, at least 1 terabyte. All my laptops have at least 1 terabyte. I have this desktop. I have another computer over here on the side. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 laptops. One of my laptops is in my living room. One is in my bedroom. One I keep in the car so I can take it with me. So if I'm out somewhere and I need to get online and, you know, do some stuff quick on my freight, whatever it's that. If I'm, you know, at a restaurant or just wherever, I keep one in my car. You know, I mean, if you're gonna do this. That's all I'm saying. Especially at the level of being a broker. If you're gonna be a broker. You know, don't always have access to where you're gonna be able to access your money making. You know what I'm saying? You want to, and that's the great part about this business, the broker and the dispatch side. You can do this from anywhere. You don't have to be at a desk at home. You could be on a cruise booking freight, dispatching freight. You could be at the park booking freight, dispatching freight. You could be at, your favorite restaurant or coffee shop or a hangout, dispatching freight. As long as you got what? An internet connection and a phone to make unlimited phone calls. That's all you really need. Okay? So have your home office and your remote stuff set up and have the right type of equipment so that you can make all this come together. Okay? All right. Any questions before we close for the day? I think I gave y'all enough review of what we going on for the last 7 weeks. Any quick questions anybody have? Does anybody have any questions real quick?
What about a niche?
And what about what now?
Choosing a niche as a broker?
Choosing, hold on.
Choosing a niche,
Choosing a
niche. Like a area, military or medical.
Oh, a niche.
Niche, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Your accent would throw me off there when you said niche. Yeah, choosing a niche. As a broker, yeah, you can choose a niche. I really would not have Darren has a niche where he does like auto hauling, right? That's not really the only niche, because other than that, as a broker, what type of niche would you like to be set up on? Like just doing just heavy hauls or just doing the auto haul? The only niche that I can see that you want to separate from the rest of the broker would be auto hauling. To be honest with you, but all the other stuff just kind of falls under the same category, because what are you doing as a broker? You're basically just setting up your contract with the shippers, and then you're finding owner operators to run those loads, right? Or you're posting them on load board, or you have connections with what? Dispatchers who can supply you with owner operators to run those loads, right? So really the only niche that I see that you can technically separate from the rest of all the other stuff that goes on with brokering is auto hauling. Because auto hauling works a whole lot differently than everything else. Right, Darren? Darren just came on. Darren, are you with me? Okay. All right. Auto hauling is a different thing because of how it pays you as a broker. Okay. Auto hauling is totally different because in the auto hauling side, here are the two ways you're going to get paid in auto hauling. You're either going to set up a contract with the car dealerships, right, that are moving the freight, so the car dealership is really like the shipper. Okay, but the car dealers, because they went to the auction, they bought cars. Now they got to have those cars brought down to the dealership. So you're going to make an arrangement with the car dealership that says that I can move, your cars for $200 a car or $185 a car, and then you're going to wind up paying the car hauler. You got to actually transport them. You're going to wind up paying them $140 a car or $160 a car or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not done the same way as it's done with regular shippers, because you have a margin with the car haulers, but your margin is built into what the car hauler is willing to pay you to move that freight. You see what I'm saying? So then you really are, the statute does not apply to where you get paid with car haul, because it's almost like a separate business all itself. That's why you don't see car hauls on the regular load boards. Have y'all noticed that? There is no category on any other load board for car hauling, because the car industry has its own specific load board. They're like an industry by themselves. It's called Central Dispatch. Okay, Central Dispatch is where you go to do the auto haul, and they have their own set of rules. They literally have their own set of rules. So you have to be very careful when operating on central dispatch, because if they boot you off, you gone. I'm telling you. CentralDispatch.com. This is where you go to conduct business as an auto hauler. This is where all the loads are. This is where you find that, you got dealers and shippers, brokers, and carriers. You see what I'm saying? So it's a completely different business. Literally, it is literally a completely different business. Okay, you're either gonna go there and do it with the car dealerships where you're finding freight. You find dealerships, you make contracts with the dealership to move freight, as a broker, and then you have the carriers, and you find the carriers to move those loads back and forth, move those cars down from the auction down to the dealership, and then the broker is the one that's in the middle, and he's compensating the carriers after he gets his pay from the Now, on the other side of it, brokers have to get their pay from the shippers, which is the same thing. This is the shipper, right? This is the shipper. This is the broker. This is the carrier. But they have a separate whole, their own little world. It's their own separate world. Okay, their own separate world. Okay, and then another place you can go, another where you do the car haul, you have to go to U-Ship. uship.com. Now with this one, with U-Ship, it's not like Central Dispatch. Central Dispatch is a place where car dealers, brokers, and car haulers congregate. U-Ship is basically private people who need to move their cars. You see what I'm saying? So basically you go to U-Ship and you're looking for find shipments. You're gonna find shipments and you're gonna look for, let's say we're looking in Florida. You're looking in Florida and you're looking for, let me increase this. You're looking for in Florida, let's say you're looking for just cars. Now, these could be shipments of anything. It can be cars, it can be boats, it can be, trailers, it can be just anything that a private person wants to move from one location to another, right? The predominant stuff that gets moved is going to be cars, okay? You got vehicles and boats, you got heavy equipment, household items, moves, freight, animals, other. So it can be anything that a private person needs moved from one location to another. All right. Now this works a little bit different than it does with the Central Dispatch. So with Central Dispatch, you're kind of working almost like the traditional way with the car dealership being the shipper, you being the broker in the middle, and then you got the carriers that's going to move those cars from dealership down with it. But in dealing with private individuals, you got to go and make bids. Okay, you got to go in and make bids. So you got, let's say, if you're looking for just vehicles, cars, and light trucks, you got motorcycles and mopeds, ATVs, and power sports. You got recreational vehicles, trailers, and other vehicles, and even airplanes. So well, let's go over. Let's do cars and light trucks. So you do cars and light trucks. It's going to pull up these cars and light trucks. Now you notice here, you got one that's got to go from Lee Acres, Florida, and it's got to go to Lebanon, Indiana. Okay, the trip is 1,130 miles. There's a detail. It's a 2005 Ford Mustang, 3,450 pounds. Right? You see here where it says no quotes, which means you got to bid. Here's one that has a bid already. Is going from Newport Richey, Florida to East Point, Oregon, 3,000 miles. It's a Honda, 2016 Honda CRV, 3,437 pounds. It has 2 quotes on it already. You click on it, and then it'll tell you what the quotes are. All right, so you have these quotes. Now, you got a bid, and the lowest bid always wins. You see what I'm saying? So in order to make money on this side of it, you got to have your carriers in place that are already signed on with you to move your cars for what? A certain price. Now, I'm gonna show you how to use this and Central Dispatch in the same, to make money by using both of them. What you're gonna do is, and this is what I showed Darren, and Darren got on this. It's kind of complicated, but Darren latched on this stuff right away, and he was making 10 grand a week doing this stuff. But a lot of people, when they do this, they don't listen to what I'm telling them. And remember when I said you got to operate a certain way on Central Dispatch? They're very strict, and if you violate, they boot you off. You'll never get back on. That's what happens to a lot of people. They don't take my advice. They get on Central Dispatch trying to be slick or whatever, this and that, and Central Dispatch will catch you. They will catch you. This is not like the regular load boards. It's not like the regular shipping and all this other stuff. This is a whole separate industry by itself. It's almost like it's not even trucking. It's something else. Okay, this is a monster all by itself, and they are very strict on their guidelines. They are very strict on their rules and how you're supposed to be operating. If you violate, they will boot you off and you will never get back on. I'm telling you all, this is a very close-knit type of neighborhood, a very close-knit part, niche. When you talk about niches, this is the only real niche in the whole freight type of thing. You see what I'm saying? Because everything else falls on the regular load board. I don't consider them niches. Flatbed, dry van, spin-up land, box truck, all those others. They're pretty much the same thing. They all move pretty much the same type of freight. Heavy haul, it's all part of the regular load board, regular freight. This is the only real true niche. Okay? And in this, you have to be disciplined to operate the way you're supposed to operate. Okay? So what you're going to do with this, you're going to look at this, all right, and it shows you what the bids are. It shows you what the bids are right here. The item, the description, gives you the quotes. You pull up the quotes. They're the quotes right there. Shows you what the quotes are. Now, you see everybody else is quoting these high quotes, right? So if you want to win your bid, you got to be able to come in and basically cut that lowest bid in half. Right? You want to go in there and just end the game. Because the person that posted this car needs to be moved, they're looking at this, they're thinking, okay, 2,800, 2,870, 25. People are nitpicking. Take a little bit off here, a little bit off here, a little bit off here. You really want to get that person's attention, because remember, the only person you're trying to get attention of is the individual who posted that car that needs to be moved, right? So everybody else is nitpicking, taking off what? $5, taking off $200, taking off $5, right? What if you come in and you say 1,500? Woo! You just got that. You just got their attention, right? Right? If you come in and say 1,500, or if you come in and say 1,250, cut that in half. Don't you think you're gonna get the person who posted? You're gonna get their attention?
Yes.
So that means they're probably gonna pick up the phone and call this person about 1,250. You see what I'm saying? Then they call you and you tell them, yeah, because I do this all the time. I got trucks already lined up. But they say, oh shoot, let's go book it. You just knocked everybody else out the water. That's the strategy that I taught on how to do the auto moves using U-Ship. Now, in order to do that, you got to have trucks that you know can move this for the price that you said they're going to move it, because it's just one car. Now, in order to know how this works, you got to know what the average pay is for dealerships to move cars across country. Most dealers pay the trucks by the car, because dealers have multiple cars that need to be moved, right? Truckers are not going to take this one car across country, because they got an 11 car hauler, they got a seven trailer car hauler. The biggest one you get, I think, is 11 cars, right? But these trailers are already running in the lanes. So on Central Dispatch, if you go to Central Dispatch and you pull up the lanes that these trailers are running in, you'll see when you got cars that may have left Miami, Florida, right? It left Miami, Florida, but he hasn't gotten to Port St. Lucie, Florida yet. He's on his way. He may be on his way to somewhere up here that's going close to Eagle Point. He's on his way somewhere in Oregon. Eagle Point is on his way. He only has 9 cars on his 11-car hauler trailer, right? Now, he's got 9 cars on his 11-car hauler trailer, but he's only getting paid $200 a car for the 9 cars he has on his 11-car hauler trailer. Or he's getting paid $180 a car, $190 a car, or $200 or $250, or whatever the case may be. So he's getting a certain amount of money per car for those 9 cars he has on this trailer. Now, wouldn't it be advantageous to him if you call him up and say, hey, I see you're on your way to Oregon, and I got a car in Port St. Richard. I see you picked up in Miami, but you haven't reached Port St. Richard yet. Could you stop in Port St. Richard and pick up a car that I have there ready for you to pick up, and I can pay you $800 for that one car? You think that carrier would be interested in adding one more car to a route he's already headed toward for $800 when he got the other 9 cars on there at $190 a car, or $200 a car, or $400 a car? He can pick up one more car and add another $800 going in the same route. He just stop off and drop that car off and continue to where he's got to drop those cars off. You think that's something that a carrier would be interested in doing? Definitely, yes. Because he just picked up another $800 by adding one more car to a space that he has available on his carrier. And not only that, you made a quote of $1,200 and you're paying the carrier $800, so that's going to leave you what? 9, 1,000, 11. Going to leave you with $400. Now y'all see how this car hauling thing works. You see how Darren was able to do $10,000 a month? I mean, $10,000 a week in car hauling.
Yes.
But you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you do, because it's very easy if you quote somebody something and then you don't have a trailer, you don't have a truck that's already that you know you can put this on, so you got to do your bidding correctly. So first of all, you got to place a bid that's going to knock all this other wish wash out the water. But you got to have it placed to the point to where you can pay the carrier good money, so it's enticing for a carrier to add that one more car onto the trailer. Because the carrier may be getting $200 a car for the other 9 cars, which is good money, but you got to offer him something that he can't turn down. $800, $900 to pick up one more car for a space that he has available on his auto hauler, going in the direction of where he's already going. He ain't got to go out of his way. He's just going on his way there. He just drop off and drop that car off and keep going where he's going. Y'all see how profitable this side of the business can be if done correctly?
Absolutely.
Now you understanding how Darren made $10,000 a week doing this stuff? Well, this is a very profitable side of the business, but it is very strict. Very strict. If you get 2 bad reviews on U-Ship, they will kick you off. So if you got an upset customer who you said that you was gonna pick up their car and a carrier cancels, and now you're scrambling trying to find a carrier to pick their car up, and their car ain't picked up on time. A lot of times these are cars they do because people are either moving, they got a divorce, they're getting married, they're changing jobs, they just graduated from college, they're going somewhere else, they don't want to drive their car. That car has got to be picked up on within a certain time frame. It's got to be dropped in a certain time frame. So if you miscalculate any of that and you get a bad review on U-Ship, you are gone. U-Ship don't want to hear your side of it. If you get a bad review on Central Dispatch from a carrier, you are gone. Central Dispatch don't want to hear your side of it. And you would never get back in. Good money, but it's high stakes. I'll tell you right now. So if you are not the type of person who is a person who pays attention to detail, a very analytical type of person, a person who knows how to analyze and bid correctly and and basically, coordinate all of your logistics on the timing and the dates. If you are not sure that you can do that, don't even start on this side of the business because you will get kicked off and banned because they don't play. This is not regular freight, brokerage, dispatching, or trucking. This is an industry all by itself. This is something totally separate. It just has the same name, but it ain't the same type of business. I'm telling y'all that right now. The mentality is different, the way they operate is different, the levels of strictness is different, and they are all to themselves. They don't give a hoot what the Federal Motor Carrier Association says about this. They don't give a hoot what DOT has to say. These people work on their own. This is a separate thing. You can complain. Well, they kicked me off. You complain to DOT. You complain. They don't care. You ain't getting back in until they decide they want to let you back in. There ain't nobody you can go to report to. Nobody. Nobody. That's how much control they have over their niche of the industry. But if you in, oh my God, you can make that's Darren. Damn you on here? He might be doing something. He may just be tuned in. But
yeah, I am doing something. But yeah, I'm here.
Darren's always doing something. But I was just telling them that this side of the business is very profitable, but they're very strict, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
very, very strict.
Yeah, you screw up and you get some complaints on this side, you done. You done. And they don't care what nobody else say. They ain't care about no DOT or no Federal Motor Carriers or no bonds or that. No. They don't care about that. Good money, but very strict. You better know what you're doing. And Darren is the expert on this side of the business. When I showed him this side of the business and I told him how to do it, he jumped on it like, woo, like flies on you know what. And he like I say, 10 grand a week is what he was doing on this side of the business. And he still does very well on it. Because he's moved some boats and tractors and he done moved all kinds of just about everything that's been moved on this side of the business. Darren has he has experience in arranging the shipment of it with those the auto haulers and the boat haulers he is the expert on this. So if you want to do a private consultation with someone on this, don't do it with me. I can show you how to do it and set up, but do it with Darren Steve because he is the expert on it. He jumped in and just took it over.
Hey,
he literally
Calvin,
jumped and took it over. Yeah.
I was getting I think it was like 100-foot houseboat or something like that. And I got scared. I was like, oh man. And it was for over $100 and something thousand to move it. And I let it go. I let it go. I said, nah, I'm not going to put my foot in that water. Not yet.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it is for something that big. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you screw up, that's a lot of money that you just screwed up. And you get a complaint on that, you'll never get back on your ship. You'll never get back on it. Because you have to literally combine this with central dispatch, or you got to have your own sources to move that stuff. But this is very profitable. So if you want to go in the high stakes side of it, and because literally with this, this is the side of business where people say, can you really make $1 million broker on this side of the business? You can. You can. You can do $1 million a year on this side of the business. Because if you look at some of the stuff that they are moving, like you said, boats, houseboats, like those expensive racing boats that coming from Miami, those go fast boats, them things be $1 million. Them things be costing $1, $2, or $3 million. They move on here. Houseboat, like you said, $100,000, couple $100,000, they move them on here. Heavy equipment, like when I did that, because I did one in 2020. I did a big wind turbine. You know what I'm talking about? With those big windmills there, those big windmills. Yeah. I did a wind turbine move off of U-ship. The they was paying the carrier $290, $280 some $1,000. And I got my regular 10%. That's the money I made over $30 some $1,000, about $39,000 in 1 month. Because $24,000 of it, $26,000 of it came from that movement, my 10%. But it had to go across 3 states. And you got to coordinate with all the different law enforcement and traffic, and it's just crazy.
It's costly because you have to pay for escort going through every single state that you're going through.
And you can't just have somebody drive a car escort. You got to have law enforcement at certain points to direct these big things, because they got to shut down. They have to shut down that part of the city while that thing is coming through. So it's got to be time, right? You have it at a certain time, because businesses are shutting down in anticipation of you coming through at a certain time. Law enforcement has been allocated to direct traffic, and you got to pay them too. And when law enforcement do that stuff, they're getting paid as private, contractors. They're getting $60, $80, $90 an hour, right there. They get paid.
Yep.
They get paid. And then you got to have the escort. And a lot of times, your escort, you have to have an escort from that area. Like when they reach once, like you go across 3 states, you got to have 3 different escorts. One will escort them out of this state, the other escort them pick up from that state, the other escort pick up from that state. You got to pay them. Okay, because this is not like one of those things when you hook it up, let's go. No, you got to have a special type of trailer, where they may have 3, 4, sometimes 5 trailers, different trailers that are connected, where they kind of like a what they call it? Like a big caterpillar. And you're moving this big long wind turbine or one of these big long things, and then they got to shut down certain parts of the city. You got to find the right routes that's not taking them through heavily populated areas. The routing, all that stuff has to be pre-done, has to be worked out beforehand. And guess who has to play a role in that? You do. So it's great, but it's good money, but you are working for your money. And if you screw it up, there's big consequences. Okay? So that's what I'm telling y'all. This side of the business is really the only real niche that I can identify as a niche, because it is totally separate from anything else that you will be doing. It's really not even the same business. It really is. Okay, so that's the only identifiable niche that I can tell you about is car hauling. Okay, matter of fact, car haulers go to a different truck driving school. They have their own dedicated truck. They don't go to regular truck driving school. They have a car hauling class at truck driving school just for car haulers. Okay, just for all the haulers. Okay, so yeah, this is the only real true niche. Let me condense this back down and check back in on my YouTube people real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and get ready to call this a day. See what some people over here are seeing on YouTube. What we got going on YouTube today? Perfect understanding. Calvin, did you use a factoring company when you were a broker? Yes, I did. All brokers use factoring companies. I don't know any broker that doesn't have a factoring company. That's why I don't understand why carriers insist on using their factoring company when most of the loads that they get in are from load boards and they're already factored. Okay, I've actually seen loads get factored by it twice. I've actually seen at least 3 times in my career. I've seen the same factoring company get paid on factoring the same load 3 times, because the broker had a load already factored. The carrier insisted on factoring it themselves, and the dispatcher had a factoring company. And all 3 of them wanted to have the load factored through their factoring company, who happened to be the same factoring company, but they wanted to do because they wanted to quote unquote make sure they got paid, which was stupid. I know the factoring company just sit back looking at them laughing like, look at these idiots. They're about to pay us 3 times on the same doggone load. Either the factoring company's gonna tell you no, they're gonna say, oh, come on. Y'all want to give us this money 3 times, give it to us. Okay. if you are a dispatcher, you should not be really worried about factoring. I can see why a dispatcher would want a factoring company, because the dispatcher gets paid by the carrier. The factoring company that the carrier has, that the broker has, is not obligated to pay the dispatcher because of the way the statute is written. So if you are a dispatcher and if you can get a factoring company to work on your behalf, it would be an advantage for you to factor that load coming from the carrier. But you have to understand that your factoring company's cut is coming out of your cut, not coming out of the carrier side, because that's your factoring company. So the carrier load is already factored by the brokers or whatever the carrier is, the load fee, what the carrier get, the $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, they're going to get that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So the broker is paying for the factoring company load got factored on the broker's end. Okay. Now, you as a dispatcher, if you want to get a factoring company to ensure that you get your money from the carrier, in other words, the factoring company is going to take the risk and not you. You want to get what's called non-recourse factoring, which means that you're guaranteed your money. The factoring company will take the risk. And if the carrier decides not to pay, it's up to the factoring company to get their money back from the carrier. So if you are a dispatcher and you are concerned about factoring, yes, that's understandable. Brokers, you should have all brokers should have factoring. I don't know of any brokers that don't have factoring. If you are a broker and you don't have factoring, then you are operating recklessly. Okay? It's not really on the carrier to have a low factor, it's on you to have that low factor. And go ahead and get you a good factoring company. There's plenty of them out there. There's TAS, there's I've got a few of them that I can refer you over to if you want to just give me a call Monday through Fridays, from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. and I'll turn you on to different ones. Okay. Brokers take money from carriers all the time. Exactly. And they are stealing. They are stealing. They will post for lower amount and negotiate up. But if they get the carrier to go for it, the lower amount, they will. And they are stealing. They do it, but it's wrong. I'm here to tell you, I just showed you all in the statute how it's wrong and how they're not. The statute says that they cannot take money from the carrier, but they do it. But they do because you got these you got these freight broker trainers out there that have trained these people wrong. And it's just bad training. Look, my granddaddy used to say, anything you practice, you'll get good at, including bullshit. Okay? And I didn't understand that until I got into this out of the business. Anything you practice, you will get good at, including bullshit. So if you are taught how to take money from the carrier, if you've been taught as a broker to do that, and you continue to practice that, then you're going to get good at doing that. It's wrong. It's complete bullshit. And it's wrong. It's stealing. It's against the rules. It's against the law. But they do it because that's what they've been taught. They've been taught by bad brokers who were taught by bad brokers who were taught by bad brokers. And they just continue doing the bad things. I'm here to tell you the right way of doing it. I preach this all the time. I talk to you all till I'm blue in the face. I tell all my students the same thing. Do not practice brokering that way. That's not how it's done. You should negotiate your margin with the shipper beforehand on what the shipper is going to pay you percentage-wise for moving their freight. Okay? Ms. Collins, I hope I answered your question there. But yeah, you are right. They do it, but they are dead ass wrong. All right? Now, as you all can already tell, this broadcast is not going to be made for children because we got some explicit language in here that it's not going to be. So I won't have many advertisers on this one who are advertising stuff for children. So y'all already know that. But hey, that's who I am. That's what it is. And I always bring it to you all real and straight. All right, everybody. That's going to do it. That's going to do it. Well, we had fun today. We've been here. It's 12:40. We came on time, about 10:15. We've had fun today. I appreciate y'all for joining me as always in our dedicated broker training, which is every Saturday from 10:15 till about 12:15 or 12:20. You know, in the afternoon, we have our dedicated broker training, which is the broker's hour that you all have seen here. And I want y'all to keep on hustling. Keep on hustling. You got to keep the hustle. Keep the hustle. You got my hustle shirt on today. Y'all got to keep on hustling now. Okay? Because that's what it's all about, man. But hustle the right way. Okay? Hustle the right way. I promise you, you can make a lot of money in this industry doing things the right way. I promise you, you can. I've done it. I did it I started in a homeless shelter. Look, y'all, look where I'm at now. You think I possess any type of special superpower that you all don't possess? I'm not from Krypton. Okay? I'm not from what's the place called? Bombay. I'm not from where's Black Panther from? Where's Black Panther from? Anybody? I'm not from there. I don't possess any type of special powers or knowledge. You know, they say, Bombay. No, that's no. But you can't open up my lip and see the imprint down there, the tattoo that they have, where they're from. Okay. Look, you all can do this. You can do this. You just need the proper training. All right. And to get the proper training, if y'all want the proper training, go ahead and attend our training, log in, sign up for our training, attend our 2-week course here in Tallahassee, Florida that we have, and register to come down to our school and learn this stuff, man. And not only will we teach it to you, but we are guaranteeing you a job. Because we have guaranteed career placement for all the students who complete our training, our 2-week course here in Tallahassee, Florida. Because we have the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, the only actual freight broker agent and dispatch agent vocational school with guaranteed career placement offers from bonded logistics brokerage firms and state licensed accredited dispatch firms after successful course completion. Tuition is just $7,500. Included in the tuition is your air travel, if you want to come by plane, rental car, if you want to come by rental car, or bus fare, if you want to come by bus. We also include all your hotel accommodation for the whole 2 weeks you are here, including also our 3 restaurant meals per day while you are here, and 4 Uber and Lyft vouchers while you are here so you can get around the city. And you're going to be trained by owners of freight brokerage firms and owners of dispatch firms. So you know you're trained by people who know what they are doing. And at the end of the 2-week course, those who complete the course and score at least 70% on their daily test and their final exam, you will be offered a position with the various firms who are sponsored us. And these firms are the people who trained you. That's why they're willing to hire you, because they had a hand in training you. They know what they're getting. They know you were trained properly. Okay? So that's why we have the guaranteed career placement. So if you want to register, come on here, go to RBBSLLC.com and you can register. We're going to put this on our YouTube channel right now. You can register for our school. I'm going to put to register. For our on-site training. Oh, I misspelled register. Put a Y in there. I don't know how I did that. Fingers too big. For our on-site training here in Tallahassee. There's right there. To register for our on-site training, you just go here and you register. You just come on in and you click right here where it says register for career training. You click on that. That's going to take you over to our registration site where you can register. And it tells you right here, freight logistics training and guaranteed career placement, student registration form. Fill out the form carefully for registration. A 2-week in-depth freight broker and dispatch agent training course offered on site at the RBBS Logistics Learning Center campus in Tallahassee, Florida, with guaranteed career placement offers from bonded logistics brokerage firms and state licensed accredited dispatch firms with successful course completion. Tuition is $7,500. Tuition, student loans, and financing options available. Tuition includes travel, hotel accommodation, meals, and limited local transportation via Uber and Lyft. Click here to get our course brochure and schedule and all that type of stuff. Students can pre-register and apply for financing. When funded, pre-registrations reach the minimum class size of 45 students. Registered students will be notified via email, phone, and certified mail of the next course start date. After confirmation of funded tuition from a limited state, federal, veterans vocational rehab, or private sponsorship, registered students will receive their prepaid travel, hotel accommodation, and restaurant meal packages. Registered students will be able to choose from the following prepaid modes of travel: air travel, economy class, Greyhound or Megabus, car rental, full size or SUV. Put in your registration information. And then after that, you click submit, then you click next, and that'll take you over to where you can get your financing if you don't have $7,500 laying around, if you don't have a private sponsor, like maybe a church or religious organization or a charitable organization or some type of government funding or whatever you have. If you don't have any of that, then you can go ahead and click here and go ahead and set up your financial aid. You click on our apply for the financing, and it takes you over to where you can submit a one-page application, okay, where it says get the financing you need, compare the best terms from the nation's premier lenders and funding partners in seconds. These are some of our funding partners, as y'all see here. We have about 35 of them. One application, many offers. Okay, come down here, it says here, get financing you need, amounts, loan amounts up to $50,000. So even though our tuition is only $7,500, you can actually apply for a loan for up to $50,000 to help take care of other needs, like setting up your office or getting your bond or some of the other stuff you need to do if you decide to go on your own and not work for some of the firms that we already have in place. We're ready to hire you. Whew. I should be an info commercial. Repayment term up to 60 months. And they even work with challenge credit, accepted as low as $580. Now, on that challenge credit, your debt, debt to income ratio can't be more than 40%. So make sure you have a low debt to income ratio. And if you have that and you got a credit score of at least 580, they will approve you for some form of this tuition. If not up to $50,000, they may approve you for $20,000, they may approve you for $10,000, or they may approve you for $7,500. But either way, you get the money you're looking for to attend our vocational school and get your guaranteed career placement. Now, if you just cannot afford, that $7,500 to a 10-hour 2-week course, and you can't afford to come down and take 2 weeks off, you can enroll in our online training. Go to the same website, the RBBSLLC.com. Go over here to services. You're gonna see a pop-up. If you put your cursor just over services, you're gonna go to online training, our online training. Our online training is also sponsored by the RBBS Leadership Learning Center and the National Dispatchers Network. This is what our online training is sponsored by. Let me break this down a little bit because that's a little bit too big there, size. Yeah, the online training is sponsored by the National Dispatchers Network, as you all can see there. Let me increase my size again, so now that I've shown that. It's sponsored by the National Dispatchers Network. Why is this showing so big? Everything is so big. Let me zoom my size down. Nope, that's too little. All right, but anyway, it's sponsored by the National Dispatchers Network, training in the convenience of your home. Our online platform will train you to earn $100K plus from home, dispatching freight, and provide the online network tools, resources, training to ensure your success. Now, this is both for brokers and dispatchers. If you enroll in this, because the things that we're going to give you benefits both. You're going to get access to more than 100 load boards. Now, you all who are wanting to become brokers, that particular part doesn't really help you because you got to have your own paid load board that you pay for yourself, because you all are going to have to post loads. You're not just coming on looking for loads like dispatchers do. We provide this to our dispatchers so they come on and look for loads. That's not going to do you all any good because you have to post loads, so you got to have your own dedicated secure access to load boards in order to post your specific load. But rest of the stuff does benefit you. Access to more than 140,000 hours of operational training videos. Access to more than 19 million direct verified shippers. Now, come on. You can't tell me as a broker you don't need access to shippers. You definitely need access to shippers. And instead of you paying for shippers list, $500, $2,500, you can get it included with our platform. You're also going to get access to every registered owner operator in the country. Don't you need owner operators to run your loads? Of course you do. So you're going to get access to every registered owner operator in the United States. You better call them up and let them know that you have loads, send them your loads every day. They can take a look at it and say, hey, I want to run that load. Everybody gets paid. You're going to also get access to our live training. Every Saturday, we have broker training, the Brokerage Hour, right here. You all are part of it right now, live, Brokerage Hour. Did y'all enjoy the training? Well, this is what we do every Saturday. We do this, all right? You get a lot of good, correct, and accurate information. Not that BS you get out there from other freight broker trainers that tell you how to do things the wrong way. We're going to show you how to do it the right way and make money all at the same time. We're also going to give you access to our logistics library that has every word, phrase, and term ever used in trucking so that you don't get confused or you're never left out of a conversation and feeling like, what the hell are they talking about? You'll always be able to go and reference the phrases, terms, things that they're using and immediately know what they're talking about and you can be a part of the conversation. Access to our network of more than 2,967 industry professionals. Look, networking is a very, very, very huge and vital part of being successful in this industry, okay? Unlike other freight broker trainers who don't allow their students to talk to each other, that's not us. We actually provide ways for you all to come together and talk to each other, not just to each other, but to other professionals in the industry. I'm talking about freight brokerage firm owners, dispatch firm owners, owner operators, owners of small and large fleets, distribution managers, transportation managers, shippers, the whole 9 yards. You all come together on our private social media groups and our private clubhouse meeting group where y'all get to talk to each other, help each other to understand the industry, help each other to find and book freight. You network with each other so that you all can be successful. Why? Because you're going to learn as much from each other as you're going to learn from me and our training. We also get all of that for an affordable price of $349.95 plus tax on your enrollment, $39.95 per month to access all your back office tools, resources, training, and support. We also have 2 other types of enrollment. We have a platinum premium membership, which is just $99.95 plus tax monthly, no upfront enrollment fee, just a flat $99.95 plus tax monthly. And not only do you get access to all this stuff, but that one also includes 3 hours of private consultations with yours truly, me. That's a $300 value every month because I charge $100 per hour. Matter of fact, all of my consultants charge $100 per hour for a private consultation. So if you need private mentorship, that's your way of getting at least 3 hours of it every month. And we have a veterans discount. A veterans discount is $100 off the regular enrollment. It's $249.95 plus tax on your enrollment and just $29.95 per month to access all your back office tools, resources, training support. Because look, we respect our veterans. We appreciate our veterans. I'm a disabled combat veteran myself, so I understand, service. I understand the commitment. I understand the sacrifice. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is our way of thanking you all with our discounted veterans enrollment. So that's how you can enroll into our online training platform. I'm gonna go ahead and post this to you all on our YouTube channel, so you all can have it as well. I'm going to put this up for you. If you want to join our online training platform, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, we got too many words in there. Let me take some of this other stuff out. Okay. Read this up your home. And let me post the link there for you all to go directly to this, and you can choose the platform enrollment that is right for you. Bam, there you go. All right, I want to give a shout out to all the people that attended our live on YouTube. We're gonna give a shout out to Styles Cushion. Hey, Styles. Wakanda, that's where it is, Wakanda. I'm not from Wakanda, y'all, so I don't have any type of special skills or power. Steve Bombay, but I'm not from Wakanda, okay? So you all can do this too, just like I do, because I'm just one of you all, mere mortal. And we all can do this, and if you want to know how to do it right, there's a link down there for you all to click on and get on it so I can show you how to do this the right way. Miss Collins says she totally agreed with some of the things we were talking about today, everything we're talking about. Hey, I totally agree with you. I understand there's a lot of misinformation out there, but we try to give you all the right, correct, and verifiable information. Thank you for joining us today, Miss Collins. Deandra Porter, thank you for joining us. Says, welcome to fans. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tracy Mahan, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you joining us. Sophia Moore Bowers, thank you for joining us. Diane Dwayne West W, thank you for joining us. And that's going to do it for everybody in Styles Christian. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Darren, for joining us here live in our broadcast studio today. As y'all can see, I am broadcasting from my man cave today. But y'all take a look at my man cave. See what's going on inside the man cave. Have a little drink over there at the bar. It's kind of early in the day for me, so I'm not gonna be drinking. But you look at the man cave, that's the man cave. So thank y'all for joining me today from the man cave. This has been Calvin with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatcher Network. And I hope to see y'all back here next Saturday, same time for the Brokers Hour. I hope to see y'all on Monday morning, 6 a.m. for the Low Bull Report through Friday. And on Thursday, hope to see you all for our dispatch training at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, y'all have a great day and salute to all of you all. Bye, everybody.